Welcome back to another edition of Stuff You Don't Usually See. I have a guest with me who has never sat down with me, and I think that says more about me than it does about the guest. With me is Billy Couch, Chief of Police for College Station. How are you?
Good. Good to be here.
Yeah, thanks for coming in, sitting down with me, and having a chat. Before we get started for radio, got anything exciting going on in your world, or just personally something for the new year?
Nah, we're just kind of still same old with the COVID concerns. We're dealing with that still internally and trying to work through that, keep staff healthy. Thought we'd be past it in 2022, but here we are today, still working through it. So
Yep.
that's been kind of what we've done lately.
Still our thing. Okay, so you ready to do this for radio? Okay, let's do this. Well, thank you, and good morning. My guest today is Billy Couch. Billy is Chief of Police for College Station Police Department. Chief, how are you?
Good.
Good. Hey, thanks for joining me. You and I haven't visited officially about a lot of the things going on in your department, so I thought maybe you could start with the fact that students are back in town, they're back in the classroom, things are somewhat normal. But considering that we've got a full city again, what does 2022 look like for the College Station Police Department?
Well, they did return, and when they did, things picked back up. We had a lull in call volume that involved students, a little bit lighter traffic for the past couple of weeks. But they're back, so things have picked back up. We are seeing a few more loud parties in some of the neighborhoods where, we have a lot of regular homeowners, joining back up with student living. So that always leads to some party concerns. Of course, more traffic leads to more traffic crashes, things like that. And then the offense of burglary motor vehicles picked back up. So that's something that we see year round when the students are here. It is a significant increase for us.
Yeah, I'm guessing things are fairly cyclical in College Station. You guys probably mostly deal with property crimes. I mean, that's kind of the bulk of what you have to respond to.
Yeah, we do have a lot of property crimes. Mostly like burglary motor vehicle. They'll these burglars may get active, and a lot of times they're just looking for unlocked doors. They'll just go through parking lots, grab it on door handles, and enter those that are unlocked. Sometimes it's a small thing that's taken, but other times it's much larger. Valuable things or handguns, things like that.
Why do we never get past that? Why are we never a lot better? It seems like there are enough kids coming from communities of size to where they would be conditioned to lock their vehicle doors and not leave stuff out in the open. But it just seems to forever be our issue.
Yeah, every semester it brings in a new wave of students, but they're all young adults, getting outside the home for the first time. I don't think locking their doors is something that is, really talked about a whole lot. So they're coming into a new community. They do feel pretty safe, as they should, and they oftentimes kind of overlook that simple thing of just locking it. And the burglars go through and they find the ones that are unlocked and see what they can come away with.
Yeah. So are you guys seeing any sorts of patterns of criminal activity that are significant enough to talk about here? And conversely, have you guys been able to sort of eradicate some patterns of criminal activity that maybe were a problem, but not so much anymore?
Yeah, we've seen some organized criminal activity, some of the larger crimes as far as we were having ATM thefts for a while. Guys are coming in from out of town and pulling ATMs out of the ground and stealing the whole machine. That was a organized enterprise where they were doing that in a lot of communities, a lot of cities. I think what happened here is the banks either removed the ATMs or they just reinforced them in a way they couldn't be taken that way. We still see the catalytic converter thefts. I think that's something that was on the news for a little while. We've gotten lucky on a few of those where we capture somebody with those in their possession, but they move those so fast, and they'll sell the catalytic converters for a small amount of money to some resale component to get the metals out. But that's still occurring. We're still getting those each day. We have some of those that are coming in, so we see some of that. But as far as other organized activity, that's probably the limit of it for now.
Is it usually a small number of people creating a whole lot of problem, or are the numbers of people who come in and do these kind of crimes, is that a significant number?
it's more organized to where you may have a cell that's working in this community while there's another cell working in another community, but there's usually an overarching organizational structure to their enterprise. They've got different cells in different communities doing the same things. As far as like just run-of-the-mill burglary motor vehicle offenses, there's just a lot of individuals out doing things like that. Seldom is it organized.
Right. In terms of how you are staffed, you still have a few openings that you're trying to fill, and if so, what do your recruiting efforts look like?
Yeah, we do have some openings. We in our business, it takes a little while from the time you hire them to the time they're taking calls for service. So in that span of time, there's usually some attrition. So we're usually always hiring. We do recruit often. We do recruit at police academies throughout the state of Texas. We use a lot of different formats for our recruiting efforts. One thing we're doing now is we're hosting more training, or the plan is to host more here in 2022. And in hosting that training, I can get the department members trained more effectively at in a less expensive, while bringing outside officers and support staff into the training, and that might be an opportunity for us to kind of showcase who we are, what we're about here in the city of College Station, and hopefully recruit out of those training sessions as well.
Yeah. I imagine recruiting is challenging for all kinds of departments, not just in Texas, but across the country. But when you have a chance to kind of give your elevator speech to somebody, your pitch about College Station PD, what does that look like? What are some of the things that you talk about?
I think it's in our industry, it starts with the community. If you're going to be a police officer now in today's times, you want to be policing in a supportive community, someone that understands who you are and supports those efforts. We police with the community's consent, and there's some communities where that consent has been lost, and it'd be very difficult to police in those communities. Here in College Station, I think it didn't come for free. I think we've earned that respect and support from our community through the act of service on a daily basis, and we continue to do that each and every day. Is that we want to protect and serve with excellence. So no matter what the call is, we want to do our very, very best. And I think that maintains that support. So it starts with the community. And then in the department, it's about, number one, are you going to train the officers and the staff to be good at what you're asking them to do? And in my business, I expect advanced level work from our guys. And therefore, I'm going to, in exchange, give them advanced level training. I want them to be the best. I'm going to give them the best training that we can find, whether we support that training in-house or we have to send them outside to get that training. And then it comes down to equipment. Are you going to equip them to be successful? And then it's just about the culture of who you are. And in our business, it's about service. We're here to serve the community.
And the entire recruiting life cycle, by the time you get somebody to commit to going through the academy, right? Because the city will pay for a candidate to go through an academy. And that's what, about 18 weeks?
20 weeks.
20 weeks, okay. Mm-hmm. So they learn everything they can. There's also, I guess, a written test of some kind through the department. Is that right? A written and a physical test?
To start with, we have two processes. We have a non-certified process, and in that process, they're going to come in and take an exam. And those that pass the exam are going to go directly into a physical test. So they're going to do an exam, physical test, and from that, we'll liquidate those that don't pass. And then from those, we'll tier those out, and those top-tier candidates will go to an interview. And those that pass the interview will go into a background investigation. And then from the background, some will be selected for the police academy. The other process is a certified, where we're looking for those that are already working police officers in different communities that are looking for a new home. In those particular cases, we'll bring them directly into the physical and then an interview. We'll waive the test and get them into that process a little accelerated, so we can start getting them in an interview and see if they have what it takes, because we still want to hire the best and brightest. And then we'll put those candidates in a background as well.
Okay, so in both of those scenarios, there is a period of time where that officer will shadow one of our existing officers or something like that.
Sure, yeah. Either one will end up in a field training process. Now, you have a guy who's a 10-year officer in another community. We just have to teach him the College Station way. He's going to be he or she would be accelerated probably through that process some. But for the most part, those that come out of the police academy are looking at about a 20-week field training program.
Right. Now, when you say the College Station way, are those just little nuances that may be differences, or are those fundamentally different ways from a lot of departments?
Not, we may have different policies, or they may look a little different, so it's important to do it within the policy that we have. Things like technology, computers in the cars may not be the same software packages from agency to agency. So there's some fundamental trainings there, but foundationally, as a police officer, I love hiring those certified guys because they want to do it. They know what it's like to interact with the public. They don't necessarily come with known communication skills, but we can evaluate that and tweak that to our way of our expectation here.
How much does a fairly new police department help with your recruiting efforts? Your headquarters.
I think it does. I think when our recruiter has someone internally and gives them a tour of the building, I think they can appreciate. It's a top of the line facility. There's room for growth there. It's packaged very well. So yeah, I haven't done a tour with my recruiter, but I'm sure it's pretty exciting for him to offer those tours.
How many representatives from other police departments have asked, hey, can we come take a look at your place? Because we may want to copy a few elements for our new place.
Sure, yeah, we've done that several times. And there are some things about that building that really work well. The adjacencies and some of those things really work well. It was good designed and really nice to be there.
Yeah. So what have I not asked you about that you want to throw in to make sure people know about College Station Police Department, what you're experiencing right now, or maybe what's coming up?
We talked a little bit about recruiting, and one of the things just to touch on, is we really love local talent. If we can get homegrown talent in our building, they seem to stick around. So if anybody locally is interested or know someone interested, whether it's in policing or some of our support services, our civilian support services, there's always openings. And anybody who is interested or may know someone that may be interested, let us know. We'd love to talk to them about it, show them what we have to offer. But we love getting local talent if we can.
And there's even a Citizens Police Academy experience that can give you that behind-the-scenes look to give you probably an idea of whether or not this is something you'd be interested in or not.
Sure, yeah. It's a 10-week program, but it gives you a behind-the-scenes look of every different aspect where you hear from the subject matter expert in each division come in and kind of tell you what it's about. So, yeah, it's a good opportunity as well.
Awesome. Well, Chief, thanks for the quick conversation. I'm going to make you do this again with me at some point during the year, but thank you for having this conversation.
All right. Appreciate you having me. Thanks.
You bet. And thank you guys for letting us come in and talk about the city of College Station. And that is stuff you don't usually see.